Do we have any questions we'd love for either of our guests? Anybody have some questions you want to ask to engage our audience? Can you go to the mic just because we record all this and it's better from the microphone? Go ahead. You can just so everybody else will know who you are and what you do.
So I'm Tom. I went to the Crafty Mart event this past weekend for
you.
lunch. And so that's an idea when you said that it's an event or an experience. And I knew that you had partnered with the farmers market, Countryside Conservancy, and so I knew I'd be able to get lunch there.
Fantastic.
And I see that you got Drafts and Crafts coming up. I'm wondering what other organizations you're partnering with in order to make your events interesting or reach a diverse population.
Thanks. Yeah, I put out flyers on most of the tables. Please take them. Those flyers point to Crafts and Drafts, which is an upcoming event we have in May 21st. We will be setting up vendors. We'll have between 30 and 35 vendors, I believe, at Thirsty Dog Brewing Company. They have a backspace in addition to the tasting room, and we'll set up vendors, and they'll be open from noon to 6. And we'll all come in, enjoy a beer, and talk to the artists and see if you like anything. We work with Thirsty Dog. We've been doing that for several years. They're a sponsor. We actually, one of the ways that we raise money and fund ourselves is through beverage sales. So Thirsty Dog has been a wonderful partner with that, and Norca Soda as well. And so we love, they have such a wonderful space at the brewery. We love going there, and they welcome us there. But we work with country. This is not the first time we've worked with Countryside Conservancy. This is the first time we've sort of partnered up in a space. It was their anniversary for their downtown show, so we were glad to share that time. And but we will partner again with Countryside Conservancy at Howe Meadow this summer. I think at least once we'll have some a block of Crafty Mart vendors, a part of that Howe Meadow experience. Who else do we work with?
Well, let me say, for Tom and everyone else, if you have an idea, bring it. She's sitting here.
Yes.
Tell her.
Thanks.
Part of the reason, I'm going to repeat, part of the reason that the Excel Center and Tony, we teamed to create these blue nights, these blue jazz nights, is to connect the dots in our community. We want to share ideas with the people that are driving the community. So if you guys have other partnership ideas,
Yes.
Joanna's here. Bring them.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Who's next?
Hi, good evening. My name is Linda McKinney. I would like to ask a question to not only both speakers, but to also for you, Jeff, to get your expertise. What is the key to managing several social media platforms? I mean, when you tell yourself you're working with Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, is that correct? You can tell I'm an early baby boomer, okay? And the other social media platforms, do you feel that sometimes you might manage too many? What are your thoughts?
Sean, you can go first there.
We do an unbelievable great job on Facebook. We're very average on Instagram. We do not participate in Twitter. So that doesn't mean I'm right? So what we've done is we've hired people that understand those things to make us better. So whenever you do something, I think you either can do it yourself, and I love the Facebook because of the personal interaction, right? I don't want to hand that off. But when it comes to some of the other social media sites that maybe are a little bit outside of my reach, I hand that off. And I want people in our organization to handle that who can understand that and believe in the brand, know what the message is supposed to be. And that's, with Instagram, it's easier because it's connected to Facebook. But when you get outside of that, it's, there's some scary things. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't want to screw it up, right? So I think you outsource it, do what you do best, and do what you do the most profitable, and outsource everything else.
One of the things that I have brought to Crafty Mart, like many of the vendors that we work with, they have day jobs, and then they have the small business that they run as well. And I have another job besides being with Crafty Mart. I'm a book author, and that has given me an opportunity to learn an awful lot about social media and platforms. An awful lot of what I do isn't just writing books; it's selling books. And one of the things I would say is do whatever platforms you decide to work with, do them well. So don't spread yourself too thin if you don't need to. It's better to pick and choose which ones you want to work with and do them well, but also know how you can engage people with them all uniquely. There's nothing that pisses me off or bores me worse on social media than following someone else and to see that what they're communicating is across platforms is identical. Well, that's not exactly how these things all work. Instagram works differently than Facebook, and Facebook works differently than Twitter. Use the strengths of each of those platforms, or don't use them at all. And we're lucky that we're actually sitting on a mountain of information and resources because we work with so many different vendors who have their own individual businesses. We love using them as a part of what it is that we communicate to other vendors and to them and to shoppers. So we all have an endless supply of content, and that's not always true for everybody else. So we recognize that as a strength and try to use that to our best of our ability.
I'm going to summarize what they both told you.
Yes.
Go where your customers are. They both told you don't have to use every form of social media. Go where your customers are and where they make that purchasing decision. You can't see this, so I'm going to read it to you.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you what this headline says. It says, Priceline's CEO, who has a $1.8 billion online advertising budget, says Facebook and Twitter are useless. Okay, this stirred up a lot of people. Priceline spends $1.8 billion on advertising and doesn't touch Facebook or Twitter because the customers making a travel decision are not making it on Twitter. So go where your customers are. Find out what not only what social media they use, they might use all of it, but what social media, that's not the question. The question is, what social media influences that decision? What social media do you use to decide if you're going to go to a class or to an event on Saturday? What social media do you use to pick a restaurant? Don't spend money on the other ones if they're not using it anyway. Thank you. Next question.
Thank
Thanks.
My name's Logan Jennings. I own Solutions Valet, and my question is for Sean. You are in an incredibly brutal industry. You know, margins are low, turnover's high. Obviously it's tough. Is there a cardinal?
Who told you that?
I work with restaurants, so is there a cardinal rule that you follow now that you've always followed? Do you have a certain allegiance to like your profit or anything specific that you could share with us?
I guess if I'm building a restaurant from the beginning, which I did with Pizza Fire, I start with the margin. I start with I want to build the best pizza I can do. And then I have to charge the right amount for it. And I won't apologize that the pizza's $7 or $8. I will never compete with Little Caesars. Because they don't compete with me with the product, right? So to me, it's about, and we talked about experience. One of the things we want every customer that comes through our line, get a pizza and leave, we want them to feel better when they leave than when they came in. A lot of people have bad days. You know, you just, you know how it is. It's like, man, I just want something to go nice and easy, smooth. Man, this was good. Everybody was friendly. And that's one of the things, part of our branding is every employee has to look at every customer in the eye and say hi. They don't do it all at once where it's fake, but they do it in their own way. Hey, what's up? How you doing? What's going on? How's your day? Whatever it takes, right? So our biggest compliment always is your staff was so great. And all we did was acknowledge the customer. That's all we really did. That we didn't do anything spectacular beyond that. But in this world of terrible customer service where people don't even look up from their phone or their tablet or whatever, that's an opportunity. So I never apologize for my price. I just justify the product and the experience. So our margins are really good. We really work hard on when I built the company, it was the 30-30 club. And this is a little secret for all you guys here. 30% food cost, 30% labor. And as long as you do your other stuff right, you're going to make money. If you vary from that standard, it's very hard to make money in restaurant business. So that's kind of what we do, and that's what I live by.
Thank you. Again, I'm going to repeat the important lesson they both told you. In the end, it's not one thing. It's not the price. It's not the taste. It's not the location or the product I bought. It's the total combined experience that makes people come back. So don't forget that. Just because in fact, your price isn't the lowest price, but it's made up for. I went there. Those guys in the red shirts behind the counter actually came out and said, "How's your pizza?" Just out of the blue. And I was wondering what they needed. They just came to check on us. So the overall experience wraps up into the whole package. People don't rate any one thing. In the end, if I paid a little more, but the pizza was great, or whatever it is, whatever defines a great day for you, a great experience for you is what matters. Next question.
Hi, my name is Lori Henry, and I have a small business called El Knits where I help yarn enthusiasts develop their businesses. My idea.
Did you make that sweater?
I did not make.
You
this
should have
sweater.
made that sweater, and you should have worn it here.
Well, I am not a knitter. I am a marketer.
You have a lot of friends who are knitters.
Yes, I do have a lot of friends. Who
And
are,
if you're a
but no,
marketer, you should be marketing your friends' products. I'm done now.
I am. This is my friend.
There, okay.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to
This
see.
is my friend. Gina.
Now it's a
Everybody
party.
look at her friend's product,
This is
please.
my friend's shirt. This is
And then
Gigi-
pick one up at
Gigi,
Crafty
yeah.
Mart on your way to lunch
No,
at Pizza Fire,
she's
please.
actually in New York. You can go to ggmadeit.com and order a shirt.
All right, thank you. Now you're a marketer.
Yes, I'm a marketer. Sean talked about this a little bit as far as systems, creating systems, especially when it comes to social media. That is the biggest thorn in my side as far as content creation, content curation, engagement, scheduling takes up a lot of time. So what are some steps that I could take to get the process of creating systems and processes and make this easier?
One, you could buy this book.
Or you could give it to me.
You
And
just
I-
got the book.
Oh,
Please come get it.
all you got to do is ask.
Go ahead, Sean.
This is, nobody wants to see you every single day on their feed. Nobody wants to see that. If I'm sliding,
Less than a year, and I have 27,000 followers across the 3 social media platforms.
that's great. That's a big number.
Yeah, and so I engage every day, and I have brand ambassadors that are very loyal to my business, but it takes up so much time.
Do you sponsor posts and all that stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you're doing the right thing. I think what you have to do is maybe structure your day better. Of say, from 9 to 10, I'm going to work on Facebook. That's it. I'm going to put the ad together today. Or, if you find an ad that works on Facebook, you run it for 4 days and you come back to it on Thursday, right? And then on Thursday, maybe there's a weekend thing you could talk about. So content doesn't have to change every day because people, they have to see it multiple times to make it make sense, but they don't want to see it too many times. So, but I think it's just scheduling your time better. It's just managing your own time better and say, this is where I'm going to devote this time of my marketing day.
Well, Jeff, did you write a time management book?
Actually, it's in there. There's a whole chapter in there about how to better structure your time for maximum efficiency. So I do agree with Sean, and we
I
did
may
write
have read that
so.
book. I'm not sure.
Do we have one more question? Let's take it. We're right on schedule.
My name's Chaz Irish. I was wondering what the differences would be in scaling a product versus the storefront companies like these two.
Scaling, you mean a physical or an online?
I guess it would be both. Like you own a product and you're wanting to scale. Do those
Sure.
principles apply to that?
You said Chaz Irish?
Yes.
How are you not a singer with that name? Or something.
He's going to
kind
come
of-
up and
terrible
sing
voice.
That's
later.
just like a smooth, still fake it. Auto-tune it, but use that name for something, okay? The difference is, here's the biggest difference, and I'll let you guys jump in if you want as well. The biggest difference is they have to focus every day on location. right, of where they're going to be, and they got to manage that site. I have to focus every day on distribution partners. So literally you spend your time in a different place. Who can distribute my product for me and get it in people's hands, where they have to say, where can I physically, go literally build a location or set up shop, right? Because you're going to do this one at the brewery this time in a different location. So I think the difference is your focus really is different. I'm focused all the time on distribution channels. They have a huge amount of energy on physical location and how important the location is of where they set up an event and the logistics of setting up a restaurant or an event and operating them, and everything from tablecloths to napkins to all the refurbishables. Their day is spent very different. All day long, I'm just trying to figure out who can I get to push my product to a customer. Did you want to add anything to that?
No, I mean, you with your, more than that than I do. But my thought is the same thing. If you can get distribution, how do you get the product to the people? Social media, obviously, if you can get in front of that, you can get distribution behind it. But without that, without a demand, you have to create the demand, right? Okay. If you don't create the demand, nobody is going to carry your product to sell you unless you want to do it totally online. So I totally agree with you.
So all of us have that same issue, though, of all the same set of issues. I'll kind of close with that, and then I want Brandon to come back up. All of us have the same issues of brand. People have to know what Crafty Mart is and hear about it and want to attend. People have to hear about Pizza Fire. People had to know what was Priceline or any of these other businesses. So we all have to focus on brand. We all have to focus on building awareness through social media, things like that. We all have to think about what the total experience is. We all have to think about developing as many processes and documenting them. So the idea would be, if you're not there, could someone else run a Crafty Mart event? Right? If you're not there, could someone else open the next Pizza Fire store? We all have to think about how to package and cookie cutter our business, and we all have to think about targeting. Who is the customer that's going to come to our place anyway? So let's spend our time focusing on them. So I was kind of summarizing some of the points we heard tonight. First of all, I'd like to give another round of applause to our two guests, and thank you very much for spending time with us.
Thanks. Good job.
Once again, I failed to tell our guests that they're supposed to bring product samples when they come to this event. You did mention artisan chocolates, and we already know what you sell. We welcome everybody. Brandon, where are you? Come on up for a minute. We welcome everybody to please stay and network. Tony is graciously going to provide entertainment for us again afterwards. But Brandon's been working really hard with our team on an event in the community that we're promoting that I want you to mention here.
Yeah, so once again, thank everybody for their time. If you look on your table, everybody should have one of these. It's a postcard with a head exploding, with a pair of headphones and our cards, maybe a pair of sneakers or megapixels coming out of that. That is your official invitation to our Failsafe Hackathon. That's going to be next Friday from 7 p.m. until 7 p.m., a full 24 hours. Now, for those of you who don't know, a hackathon has also been called a hack day or a hack fest. And essentially, it's an event in which programmers, software designers, developers, project managers, and individuals of that sort all together come together to work together and intensively solve complex issues. Well, we're branding our hackathon as hipsters, hustlers, hackers, and wildcards, because we realize that not everybody falls into those categories. And a hackathon, quite frankly, can be kind of intimidating. Personally, this will be my first one there, so we'll all be in this one together. But for 24 hours, we're going to bring everybody together in the community. Everyone is going to be welcome over the age of 16 together, to come together and to solve complex issues. There's going to be grant money. We have 3 grant prizes from our generous sponsors, Burton D. Morgan and the Knight Foundation. There's going to be competitions. There's going to be fun, and it's going to be all held in the Excel Center in the library over 24 hours with a lot of coffee, a lot of intense energy, and just a lot of really cool, weird stuff that we do at the Excel Center. So please join us. Come get weird with us. Let's figure out some fun solutions to approach some community issues and perhaps even win some grant money too. Thank everybody for being here this evening. If you run into Ian in between the next time of seeing him, please thank him for all the hard work he puts in. And thank you for supporting the Excel Center. Have a good evening and God bless.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you.